Hello, welcome back to Go with Manja. This time it's something like Christmas time in most of your countries. Actually, after we streamed yesterday, I found out there are also other countries which have Christmas on 24th, like Romania. So very best greetings also to Elian and all the Romanian friends. But for most of you, probably today is Christmas Eve. And I'm really happy to wish also you Merry Christmas. And probably you got a lot of presents, but I don't have really a lot of presents, but I have a small present for you because today I want to show you who is actually behind the camera and helping, that you can see so nice things. And actually this person is super famous, so probably you have seen him before. And I'm very happy to present Steven.
Hello! Hi, how's it going? Merry Christmas to everyone! I hope I'm in the shot. Usually I'm behind the camera, so.
Steven is a bit, not angry, a bit mad about me because I didn't tell him in advance I will bring him in front of the camera and he's missing his tie. But,
yeah. But that one everyone already knew about, so.
And for the people who don't know Steven actually is streaming quite a lot online on Twitch and probably you've seen him quite often. So where have you been recently?
Well, recently I had a really great Christmas I don't know where it was. I sang a lot of songs. We had a really great lunch / dinner, dinner. It's great to hang out, of course, with all the students here. I'm kind of old, so compared to Virginia and Davida, as you see, I'm actually 30. No, I'm not 30. Actually a decade younger. But yeah, it's great to be involved.
Actually, I'm 40, he's 30, and when he told me he is 20, I was really, ooh, what?
Yeah, this is gonna be a running joke now.
Yeah.
Insider joke.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's great to be involved, of course. I'm really happy just behind the scenes producing the show, and this is actually a fantastic series. Manja's doing a really great job. So you guys should definitely check out more of her lectures as it goes on. And you will see me a lot more in front of the camera. We have really great plans for 2019, so stay tuned.
Yeah, for example, also here we will have the Pro Championship.
That's right.
March.
That is March 5th to 8th, right?
Yeah, and we will do that also together here.
Yes, actually all the big guns are coming to town. All the European professionals will be arriving here in Jena to compete for a very top, a grand prize, of course. This is one of the largest professional tournaments in Europe, so you definitely want to check that out. But for now, if you're just getting into the game, of course, you can follow some of Manja's instructions.
Will you participate in Pro Championship?
I have 3 months?
No, Steven is not a professional, okay? So therefore you cannot participate, I'm sorry. But that's good for you and for me because we can have him for streaming. That is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be working behind the scenes. I hope you guys have enjoyed all the content. I'm doing a lot of live and death every day, and sometimes I get all the ones on the page wrong. Youngsam does a really great job. He's kind of my dad now, so.
Wow, but he's not that much older than you, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He demonstrates this kind of fatherly love to all his students. He has very high expectations, of course. So he's very strict when they miss a problem or play a bad move. Of course, he'll point it out. But yeah, at the end of the day, he really loves everyone who comes here, and he really wants them to grow. I think not only as Go players, but as better people. And I think it's fantastic. I think what you're doing here is really, really special. I really want to come back.
Let's see.
Yeah. I really should.
Okay, good. So thank you very much, Steven. And maybe I continue with what we learned yesterday to repeat it shortly.
But you didn't give homework though, right?
Yeah, because it's Christmas.
I hope all of you complete that homework. I certainly, well, not with my family, but of course, Go players, we're all akin to each other. Of course, we always enjoy a great time when we are gathering. We usually have many similar interests, so we play a lot of board games last night. Of course, that's a lot of fun. So finally, something I can beat Youngsam at, so that's always good. But anyway, yeah, cool. You have a lesson to teach. I'll go back, make sure nothing goes wrong.
So let's see. So what did we learn actually last time? Last time we were thinking about connections, and there were a lot of Japanese words. So let's see if you remember them still. Okay. So maybe you remember. This is called nobi, iken tobi, 1 space jump, nikken tobi, 2 space jump, kosumi, knight's move, keima, and large knight's move, ogema. Okay, and all these things are connected in some way, and they have advantages and disadvantages, which maybe I explain a little later. But there's one thing also to know is this thing of jump. Okay, this is the elephant jump, and I recommend not to play it if you're a beginner. Okay. And there's really a lot to tell, and maybe we have a little time at the end, but actually our schedule for this series is pretty filled, so let's see, maybe we can do that another day. So, but today, we want to talk more about food and presents. As Stephen already said, we had yesterday a wonderful dinner, or lunch dinner, so it was something in between, and it was a kind of roast or goose. Actually pretty similar to Thanksgiving in the US, but we don't have something like this, so we combine everything together for Christmas or something like this. And actually what we also had was roast apple, and I really liked it. I don't know how common that is in your country, but this is super famous here in Germany. And that's why the topic today is also about roast apples, okay? So what I would like to point out is these 2 stones are apples, okay? And they didn't appear just like that. During the game, it appeared that they are surrounded like this by white stones, okay? And I would like to call these the 2 apples, and this is kind of basket, okay? So the apples lay in the basket. And what would you say? Who is more happy, the apples or the basket? Well, if it's just like that, obviously the apples are not as happy because they cannot see so much, so they can just see a little bit of the sky, but they cannot see the side and they cannot see the bottom, so they're pretty sad because they would like to see a lot, okay? But they can't see so much, so they're pretty sad, okay? And the basket can actually see kind of the whole board, and basket is super happy. I mean, basket also has 4 stones and the apples are only 2 stones, so it's a kind of clear that the apples should be kind of sad. But the thing is, this happens pretty often in games, and you need to notice that the apples are actually really sad, and you need to know what actually to do. So for this I also have a kind of picture. So these are the 2 apples being sad in a basket, okay? And they don't appear usually like that. I make it a bit complicated that you see how they may appear in a real game. Might be, for example, something like this, and now it's already pretty complicated to see that, hey, there's a basket involved, and I really should take care of my 2 apples, okay? So I will remove this for now, and I would like to point where to play, okay? So if you are black and you want to help your apples, because they're important, for example, they are cutting stones or something like this, where would you play? Actually, the most common ideas among beginners are usually 3 different possibilities. A, B, and C. And the other ones are just mirrored. A, B, and C. So what do you favor? A, or B, or C? Actually, most of the beginners, they really prefer to play this move. Because, and by the way, this is not good, okay? Because we had that before. This is called empty triangle. So this is an empty field. It's not a filled triangle, it's an empty triangle. And actually this is really short on liberties. And actually it has also a lot of other disadvantages. I will point them out a little later. But you should notice, if there is a better move than the empty triangle to rescue the 2 apples, then it's better to play another move than the empty triangle. And actually the best move to do is to jump, okay? So the jump is usually the move you look at first. It's not working always, because sometimes there are moves around and then maybe this move is not the best one. And maybe sometimes Hana, so like this kind of move, is the correct one. or the empty triangle even can be the best move, but this is pretty rare. So usually it should be the jump. Okay, so this jump or this jump. Let's see what happens. If we jump, then white can give Atari. These two stones only have one liberty, and black can rescue them and immediately connect to his stone he just played, which is cool because now they can see pretty a lot of the board. Okay, and they have 4 liberties now. So actually this would be good for black. Now white could say, okay, if this is such a super cool move for black, maybe I play myself here. So white may consider to play here. Then these 2 stones would be in Atari, and if black would like to rescue them, he would play here, which puts white himself in Atari. If white now helps his 1 stone and connects these 2 stones with these 3 white stones, then black has the possibility to connect to the stone he was just playing in the beginning, the jump. So in either of the cases, the 2 apples are connected to the jump. And that is pretty cool, okay? That's why people like to jump, either here or here. Seems the same in this case, right? So just try to remember the basket, okay? And if you play the basket, the jump is mostly the solution. Not always, but mostly, okay? Good, that is important. But sometimes it's even worse, okay? So if you think about a basket, maybe you know sometimes you carry a basket, so you do have handles at the side, something like this, okay? Sometimes you have 2 handles, or maybe the basket is broken, then you have just 1 handle. And these 2 situations we are considering now, okay? And that actually happens also pretty often in a game, okay? So now white has a handle, a basket and a handle, and the apples are of course even more sad than before, because they can see even less of the world, right? So now the question is where to play. And we were saying, okay, you should jump. This time it's not symmetric. Should we jump here or here? A or B? A or B? Where to jump? And actually, let's consider this jump first. This is not the solution. Because the handle is so strong, this time white can give Atari from this side. The 2 stones are in Atari now, and if they try to go out, this time there is already a stone here, the handle. So even if black tries to go out, he is still in Atari, and this time white does not need to connect his 1 stone. Instead he can capture actually the 3 stones. Did you see? That's why this jump is not correct. Let's repeat. So you have the 2 apples and the basket has a handle. Now we would like to jump, but this jump is not a good jump because white can play from this side, put the 2 black stones in Atari, and even if they try to escape, white can capture all of them, okay? So let's consider then the other handle, the other jump, sorry, same handle, other jump. What about this jump? If white comes from here again, black can connect and he is out. Black is happy, okay? And if white again tries to go into the jump, then black is in Atari and goes out of Atari. And if white would give Atari from here, black can connect to his jumping move, black is happy. Or if white plays from here, he gives Atari, black tries to go out. And for the people who think to know a little more, there's something called a ladder, which we learn a little later. Probably tomorrow actually, and I will repeat that tomorrow in that context. You will see this is never a real ladder because there's always a disturbing stone, yeah, a ladder breaker. So the jump is always a ladder breaker, which means there's no ladder. So after we jumped next to a handle, there's never a ladder, okay? And that means that black is a kind of rescued, depending on the context. So please remember, if you have a basket with 2 apples and a handle, then we like to jump on the handle side, okay? We like to jump on the handle side. There's no ladder involved. And there are also some other key points to look at, but this we will talk a little later about. Okay? So if you can remember that, that is a good way to rescue your stones. If this jump for whatever reason doesn't work, then actually the only last hope is this kind of empty triangle. But I don't want to talk too much about it. Usually that works. Okay? Good. So, and I said there's even another possibility that you have a basket with 2 handles. Okay? If you have 2 handles, then you have actually a problem. Because it doesn't matter where you jump. In either case, white can give the Atari and uses the other handle. And black cannot escape. White can in any case capture the 2 or 3 stones. It means if you have something like this, a basket with 2 handles, then the 2 apples are super sad because they already died. You cannot rescue them anymore. Okay? In this situation it looks very easy, but I try to remind you once more that usually it looks much more complicated. There are stones around, something like this, and now it's pretty difficult to see that this is actually a basket with 2 handles and the 2 apples cannot be rescued anymore. Okay? So if you jump, remember, you could play something like here and the 2 apples are dead. If you jump the other side, white would play here and black cannot really rescue the 2 apples. If you try empty triangle, again it cannot be rescued. Okay? Also the other empty triangle doesn't work and it cannot be rescued. Okay? So let's remember, a basket with 2 handles, very bad for the apples because they're already dead. Okay? Okay, so this is, I think, something to remember, but actually there's a little bit more to say, because when I was always at my grandma's place, it's really a long time ago, we had a very big garden, and actually with such tiny baskets where only 2 apples fit in, we would really walk a lot, and that's kind of impossible to really capture all the apples. So let's see what happens if you actually have a bigger basket. So this here we call a bigger basket. Maybe now it's good for apples. I mean, now the ratio of stones is 3 to 5 instead 2 to 4. So you may consider this to be better, but actually it's still super bad for the apples. Again, they cannot see much of the world. And again, the basket can see a lot of the world. And actually there's also a lot to talk about. So this we call the large basket. Okay, large basket, where 3 apples fit in. And now the question is again, what is the right shape, where to play for black if you want to rescue them? Again, we have something like this Hana move. We may consider something like this empty triangle. Blah. If it has to be, we do that, but blah. We even could think about even 2 empty triangles, even worse, okay? So if really nothing else helps, think about that. But actually, I think I cannot remember any situation in any game where this was the solution. I don't know. Then we may consider this jump or that jump. So this time we have 5 moves, okay? And I would say something like in at least 70–80% of the cases, this is the move, okay? The one in the middle. But sometimes it can happen that that is the right move or the Hana or even an empty triangle, but it's super seldom, okay? So let's see what happens. If we jump, what can happen? White can try to capture. Now it looks like a small basket with a handle, if you see this. And black could actually try to put another stone, although the 3 stones are not in super danger, by playing here. Usually beginners like to play here. But there's again an empty triangle which we try to avoid, can you remember? So better to play here. And this is actually a shape I didn't tell you yet. It is called bamboo, okay? And the cool thing about bamboo is that they are always connected. If white plays here, black connects on the other side. Or if white plays here, black plays on the other side, okay? Bamboo can always be connected. So I just put the bamboo itself. And why it is called bamboo, maybe you can see now. There are always these bamboo things, and they have something like the rings in between, yeah? So that's why it's called bamboo. So this is a bamboo. Okay, but going back from the bamboo to the big basket, this jump would be the first move to look at. If this is working, take it. If white tries to do something, bamboo could be a good solution. There could be also other moves, so you can't tell which is the best move, okay? And what happens if white tries to make something against this connection? Well, you would go out either side, for example here, which is an Atari on the white stone. So if white wants to rescue them, they go out and you can easily connect again. Actually, it's similar to what we just learned. It's like a bamboo, and white even tried to go into the bamboo. This kind we call, thinking backwards sometimes. So, big basket, this is the vital point. This is to remember, okay? So this is the vital point. We call it the vital point, the important point, the vital point, yeah? Big basket wants to jump here. And actually also for a big basket, we may have something like a handle. This time I put a handle here. And again, we have different moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves to consider. But as I already pointed out, this is the move we consider first. This is the most stable one, which means even if there are stones around, in most of the cases this move does what it should do. Rescue the 3 apples, okay? Good. So I would like to point out something at the end. If we have 2 handles like that, it seems like, what is it actually? Can black rescue the 3 stones? Is it possible or not? Here, we have the big basket, because 3 apples fit in, with 2 handles. Can we rescue that? Well, I will now put something like 1 or 2 minutes in analyzing, and then I give you the solution, okay? Okay, first part is we jump on this side. Now why try to make this connection disappear? And now you see it's like a small basket, everything is surrounded, with 2 handles. And that we learned already is dead, right? Black cannot go out. If black goes out this side, white gives Atari, and black could play here, but will be captured 4 stones. If black tries to jump out here, white will play on that side, and even if black tries to go out, 4 stones will be captured. Also the empty triangles don't work either way, okay? That means if in this situation with 2 handles, black jumps on that side, white can actually capture the 3 stones by this move. I will make it a bit more curious, so I will put this stone at the end. So let's see what happens with this ugly move. Actually, if we are in kindergarten, we always say it's really stinky. So this kind of move is super stinky. Okay? Even worse, this is a stinky, bulky 5. And this is even more stinky. So whenever we have something like empty triangles or stinky bulks, I will do this and you know what it means, okay? So let's see. I mean, maybe this is the solution. But white could play here, which is also called nose tisuti, because it's just going to the nose. Then there is this Hana. Maybe black wants to go out. And white can give Atari. And even if black tries to rescue, it will be captured 5 stones. If black doesn't try Hana, but here, 5 stones are in Atari, and they cannot go out. So this move also doesn't work. And what about this move? Well, this is now a bit more complicated maybe. White can play here, and maybe you can see black is in really super danger, because we have here a basket, actually a basket with 2 handles, and at the same time we have a small basket. Can you see? So this is really super bad for black. Why is it so super bad? Because we played empty triangle again, yeah? So if black tries to go out here, white gives Atari, and black cannot be rescued. If black plays here, white also gives Atari, cannot be rescued. If black jumps here, white gives here Atari, and the 4 stones cannot be rescued, because if black would play here, white would capture 5 stones. And if black plays here, this is now a little interesting. The most clear way to capture is a very interesting thing, because we would play this move. That is surprising, but this is a famous problem actually. This is self-Atari. White puts himself in Atari in order to get more. Let's see. If black captures the white stone now, which he should do because he was in Atari, then white plays here. And this is Atari for these 5 stones. And if black tries to rescue the 5 stones, then it's a super stinky 7 and white captures everything. Okay? I try to repeat because this is good to remember. If black plays here now, white throw in or puts himself in Atari, and also black. So black should react, so he should capture. Now white gives Atari on 5 stones, and if black tries to rescue them, then everything gets captured. Okay? So the only thing which we didn't consider now was this move. Maybe that helps. It should help, should it? And actually this is a famous problem from Go Problems book, and it has even a name because it's so famous and it appears pretty often in a game. So it's called the crane's nest. Okay? And maybe you remember in just a previous problem what we did when black jumped. Actually white played this kind of self-Atari. This time this is still the solution, but it's not self-Atari, but it will become self-Atari because we just changed the order. Black may give Atari from this side. And now white does not take care of this stone. Remember, this stone was meant to be captured. And white gives here Atari. And now it's the same situation as we just had. Black captures, white gives Atari. And if black tries to rescue, we capture everything. Oof, that was a lot, right? I remember when I learned that one, I was much, much stronger than you. So for me, it's important that you remember one thing. I will repeat it in a second. Remember one thing. If you have a big basket with 2 handles, even the vital point doesn't help anymore. Okay? So the 3 apples are already captured. Big basket with 2 handles, the 3 apples are already captured. This you should remember. Okay? And now you can see again how. Even if black plays the nice move, the nice jump in the middle, white throws in the middle. By the way, usually if you have this kind of jump, this is 95% a bad move to play. But here it's a solution. Now black plays this Atari, and white does not take care of this 1 stone, but plays here, uses the handles, black captures 1 stone, and white gives here Atari. This was actually super complicated. So if you were able to follow that one, then you are really, really good. So you should really continue and play, because this is really difficult. Okay? Cool. So this is the big basket, and this is the famous problem, the crane's nest. Okay? So what can we remember? We remember the small basket, the vital point is here or here. Jump. The same for the big basket. The jump in the middle is the vital point. If you have already a handle with the small basket, then jump on the handle side. No ladder involved. If you have 2 of the handles, then the 2 apples are captured. And it doesn't matter if it's a small basket or large basket. If it has 2 handles, it's already captured. Okay? So try to remember that, and then you are really superhero. And as always, we have some homework for you. So let me give you the homework of today. And the idea is to see the baskets. Okay? So first problem is this one. So you can see the large basket and you should find a good move, the vital point. Second problem is like that. Okay? It's a small basket, and where's the vital point? But be careful, this is a bit dangerous because it's facing to the end of the board. Okay, we will talk about it tomorrow. Then we have another large basket, which is here. Let's see what we can do for the 3 apples here. And we do have another problem, which is a small basket here. And let's see what we can do for the small, the 2 apples here. Okay, so these were 4 problems. You can put the solutions as always in the chat if you want, but you can also just come tomorrow at the same time And tomorrow we will talk about the letter, which I mentioned quite a lot today. Okay? So see you tomorrow for the letter time. And until then, have a wonderful Christmas Eve. Bye bye.